Hey everyone, happy Friday and welcome to another edition of Friday Reads. I hope you're all doing well and having an awesome week and you're excited to hear about the new book I read, which is Shelter for Allegra by Emily Gray, which features Brock on the cover, and it is book 1 in the Protect and Serve series. I am going to read the back of the book and then jump in and say what I thought about it. Detective Allegra Morelli bleeds blue. The only woman in a family of law enforcement, love and a relationship are the last things on her mind, especially when she has to prove herself against a hostility-driven police sergeant. Besides, the only male attention she's looking for is from her loyal, retired canine German Shepherd, Toby. That is, until she meets a protective stranger who awakens all of her dormant desires and makes her believe she can have the kind of love she never thought she'd find. Texas Ranger Liam O'Neill is investigating the disappearance of his confidential informant and a dangerous new drug making its way through the Lone Star State. He and a fellow ranger soon discover the cases are far more complicated than anyone thought, and deadly too. As bodies start piling up, Liam works every lead with the help of the most captivating detective he's ever met. He also can't keep from hoping she'll allow the sparks building between them to turn into something more. But when an unexpected threat against Allegra appears, both realize their time together may be cut short. Will Liam be able to save her before it's too late? This is the first book that I've read by Emily, and as I've said many times, my favorite thing is when a book that I'm reading encompasses a little bit of everything. So it has the love aspect, but then it has a little action, suspense, and mystery. That is my absolute favorite, which she does in this book. The family dynamic between Emily and her brothers is very interesting because they treat her kind of like one of the boys, which in one aspect she likes being treated equally to them in that way, but then she also doesn't like it at the same time because of, well, she's not one of the boys. That I found interesting, their family dynamic. And what's very interesting and well done about this story is that the manner in which Allegra and Liam first meet and start working with one another, it's like starting at the beginning. So they just meet, the case starts, they start heating up as the case starts building and also heating up. So there's many juggling elements that they have to deal with trying to solve the case while also what is happening with them. So there's a lot of feelings that are building in so many ways. I did a little mini interview with Emily that I am now going to share with you as well. My first question was, action, suspense, mystery, is that something you knew you want to include while plotting this story? And she says, yes, absolutely. The suspense element was the first thing I wanted to figure out so I could play and weave the rest of the story around it. I would say it's the cornerstone of each story because it helps bring the couples together. I think it definitely does help bring them together because it forces them to, one, solve the case, but then their relationship blossoms and flourishes during that course. One of my favorite characters in this book was Toby and his love for Allegra, which is her dog. Do you have a favorite character? And she also says Toby. The dog stole my heart from the first chapter. Toby plays such a pertinent role in this book, and I'm not going to say anything else about that. Without giving too much away, which was your favorite scene to write and why? I love the scenes with Toby because I think he brings an additional layer of emotion to the story I wasn't expecting. But I think my favorite is the football game after Allegra's family dinner and the subsequent scene between Liam and Allegra. I loved being able to show Allegra's vulnerable side and Liam's protectiveness. I felt like it strengthened the connection between them. I completely agree. That was one of my favorite scenes as well, which I kind of alluded to at the beginning when I was mentioning her family dynamic, but that is one of my favorite scenes, them all interacting with one another and how the brothers react to meeting him. What can readers expect from Book 2 of the Protect and Serve series? Book 2 will be Shelter for Bailey, which features Bailey, Allegra's best friend, and Mateo, Allegra's closest brother. This story has more raw emotions because they've known each other forever and have avoided their attraction for most of it. The stakes are also higher in this book because it's a continuation of the suspense story from Allegra's. Plus, you'll get to know the rest of the Morelli family a bit more. Well, I'm really excited about that because there are little bits and pieces of both those characters within the first book, so I'm excited to see how that expands. After readers finish Shelter for Allegra, what would you like them to take away? Most of all, I'd love for readers to be satisfied with the story and feel connected to the characters. I'd also like them to appreciate my strong heroines. Lastly, I hope they are ready to jump into the next book. One, I love a book with a strong female character. I think that is a must. And I'm very excited for book 2. So having said that, have you read Shelter for Allegra by Emily Gray? And what did you think about it? Make sure to subscribe because more Friday reads are coming soon, and have a great weekend.